What's up everyone, Crypto Underground is back with an update video on Bitcoin because unfortunately we are falling again. This is very bad news, guys. We're gonna have a look into the indicators, of course, and what are the targets right now since this recovery and this bounce here failed already and we are back down. We're gonna have a look into that. So welcome everyone on board. Make sure to be subscribed on my channel, Crypto Underground, guys. I update you every day whatever is going on here in the crypto space. I give you always my own opinions and price analysis about new upcoming cryptos that are extremely hyped, like Pepe Node right now or Bitcoin Hyper. I bought into all of them, guys, and of course we are waiting for the big launch of those new hyped cryptos. If you want to get on board, links in the video description. I review all of them, of course, and also check out all exchanges where I'm trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, all the cryptos that I want over on Bybit, Femex, and so on. Sign up with my links to get extra deposit bonuses. And remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to show you my own opinions and price analysis here in the crypto market. Of course, I'm trading also with leverage. There is always risk involved, of course, but currently, if you're shorting, then of course you can do some nice trades. So we're gonna have a look into the indicators, guys. Unfortunately, this bounce failed here for Bitcoin, and right now, of course, we are coming back down to this support that we have at around $111,000. We're gonna have a look into that. And especially the indicators, guys. I want to open up the indicators because unfortunately we even are getting some sell signals here in the 3-hour time frame. Very, very bad, guys. But it is possible, of course, that we are just in this consolidation phase before we eventually get that bounce towards 115k, and then we're gonna see if the bull run continues or not. Remember, guys, that I am, of course, extremely bullish for Q4 of 2025. I am just short-term bearish, so I am expecting that short-term we can still drop down towards 110k, maybe even down towards the low 100s here at around 100k. This is possible, so I'm taking this chance, of course, to buy more into Bitcoin and all the altcoins. And yeah, unfortunately on Ethereum, guys, I also have some bad news. We're gonna cover that later on, but in general I'm using this dump, of course, as a good buy opportunity. Of course, no financial advice, guys, but I think that this is just another consolidation phase before the next big leg up. Because if we open up here the weekly time frame and we zoom out a little bit, you can see, of course, that we are still in this huge uptrend since 2022, basically. So we always have those big pumps, pullbacks, pumps, consolidation and crashes, pumps, then again consolidation, maybe even a crash, who knows that. But overall, the trend is still shifted to the upside, and as long as we are seeing this big rise here, of course, I remain bullish. And also you can see that our main support in the bigger time frames basically is this 50 weekly moving average, because once we broke here above it, this signaled basically the beginning of the bull run in 2023. In 2022 we had the bottom, and afterwards you can see that every time that we had a massive crash, we came very close, or we even touched the 50 weekly moving average here, for example, or here in 2024 again, we touched it and bounced from it. Then here more recently in March 2025, also we came down to the 50 weekly and bounced from it. And here again, if we would see the worst case scenario, maybe we're coming down to test the 50 weekly moving average at 99k, but latest then we should of course expect then a big bounce and continuation to the upside. Even if we're not coming to the 50 weekly moving average, it's possible also that we are just stopping here at 100k and then continue to go higher. And also keep in mind that based on different indicators like the global M2 money supply, which is still rising, this is also still suggesting that the Bitcoin price will go to much higher levels. Of course, no financial advice, guys, it's just my own opinions, but you know what I mean. If I go here into the daily time frame and we pull out here the global M2 money supply and we make it a bit more fitting here into the Bitcoin price, of course, we're not always one-on-one correlated. Also here you can see we went a bit higher, the Bitcoin price went down, but then money supply skyrocketed and also the Bitcoin price skyrocketed here. Then we had another crash and also the global M2 money supply came down, or let's say the global M2 money supply came down and then the Bitcoin price reacted. And that's why here again, maybe we are in this phase where we see a big dump here and then a big bounce, or maybe we're in this phase where we get also a local high and then we crash down and then continue to go higher. Who knows where we are? But the thing is that the global M2 money supply is going higher and higher, and as long as this is the case, I'm remaining bullish for the crypto space overall. And of course also the stock market is going higher and higher, so that's why I remain bullish, even though the charts and the indicators of course are suggesting that more downside is possible. And also myself, I always told myself, guys, that I'm only taking profits on Bitcoin, which in my opinion is the best asset in the world, every time that we reach the red zone up here based on this indicator. And currently it is at around 200 to 240k. We are still down here in this blue zone. The blue zone usually is a buy area. Even during bull runs, whenever we come down to the blue zone, this is usually a buying area, not selling area. Only when we enter into the red zone, it is good to take profits. And right now we are still in this basically in this buying zone and not take profit zone. Of course, things can change. I mean, every bull run is different, but based on this indicator, we are still in a accumulation zone and buying zone and not in a take profit zone up here. Because I'm trading based on this indicator, guys. And as long as there, I'm not seeing any kind of sell signals. Basically, I keep buying more and more. And overall, of course, we are still in an uptrend. The only concern is, of course, the US dollar dominance. Here, of course, we are still in this bullish pattern. I always look at this US dollar dominance chart, because here we are in a bullish falling wedge. But for the crypto market, of course, that's bearish, because once we break out here to the upside, that's going to lead into a bear market for the crypto market. But here, as long as we are within this falling wedge, the chances are here that the crypto bull run continues as long as we are within this falling wedge. Or even better, imagine we would crash down. Then, of course, super cycle on, in my opinion. But until then, of course, this is something that I'm watching out for. And for Ethereum, guys, unfortunately, I have bearish news at the moment. If this week is going to close below $4,200, unfortunately, it's very, very likely that the next targets are down here at $3,300, the next major support, because this is a very, very important new support that we are creating here. And if this one is not holding, then of course, next major target down here, $3,300 in my opinion. Especially if you're shorting, then watch out for that targets. And also here, we still have to wait for 3 more days or basically to see where the weekly close will be. If below $4,200, bearish. If above, then this could bring a lot of buying pressure. If suddenly here we see a big wick to the upside or to the downside, let's say to the downside, because if this is ending up in a doji, so that means a huge wick to the downside, but the candle will close something like that, then of course it's very likely that afterwards we're going to go higher, since this is a bullish signal whenever we see wicks to the downside like this, if it's happened. At the moment it's not happening, so that's why we have to wait and see what happens here. But this is just my little hopium that I have here for Ethereum if that happens. But we will see how it is at the moment. It's very bad news, of course. So I keep you always updated, guys, whatever is going on. So make sure to be subscribed to my channel, guys. Pepe-Note, Bitcoin Hyper, and so on. New cryptos are upcoming. I'm buying in because there are no volatile moves. You just buy, you just stake, and you wait for the launch. The complete list is here in the video description, especially for Pepe-Note and Bitcoin Hyper. I'm going to bring some update videos as always, guys. And for Bitcoin and overall for the crypto market, I know bad times ahead, at least in the immediate short term, but overall I remain bullish, and I am expecting at some point a big recovery and of course a big continuation of our bull run. So guys, that's it for now. Crypto Underground over for now. Be subscribed, check out all links in the video description, and we're gonna see us all in the next one. Bye for now.